Once I learned how to make mayonnaise and ranch from scratch, I never bought them again. Today, I'm sharing both, and you'll never believe how simple they are. All right, guys, welcome back to the kitchen, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time. Today, we're talking all things mayo. I'm gonna make the classic version and show you how to do that. And I'm gonna show you an easy, speedy version. And maybe if you stick around to the end, I'll show you a healthy version. I say healthy, I mean, it's just that it's not got any fat in it. I'm not sure that's really healthy, but anyway, it's not one I've made before. So we'll see how it goes. We'll just have to see. And then as a bit of a bonus, I'm gonna make ranch dressing out of the mayonnaise that I've just made. All right, so what do we need? I'm gonna need a bowl, lemon squeezer. First off, I wanna just acknowledge any negative Nancy's out there because, you know, there are some people that say, oh, they don't like mayonnaise. They like butter on their sandwiches. They like ketchup with their fries. They might like salad dressing with their salad, you know. Well, for you, I would say I'm actually going to do another video on vinaigrette in a couple of weeks, hopefully, because this is all part of a sort of mini series I'm doing on the basics of cooking. So make sure to stick around for that, especially if you're a salad fiend. Subscribe to the channel. Why not? Well, I might do a video on ketchup. Why not? Homemade ketchup can be amazing. Anyway, stay on track, Matt. Mayonnaise is absolutely incredible. And I'm not talking about the store-bought, ultra-processed seed oil nonsense. Here, this is olive oil. Real, homemade, good quality mayonnaise is, well, first off, it tastes amazing. And it's also what's known as what's called a mother sauce. Now, technically speaking, it's not one of the original mother sauces because we don't want to upset the purists amongst us. But it is a mother sauce of sorts because it really, you know, it's a sauce that you use to make other sauces. Mayonnaise you can use to make all sorts of things. You can make remoulade, you can make tartar sauce, we can make ranch, which we're going to do in a bit. You could even make like a garlicky avocado aioli style sauce. You can use mayonnaise as a base. You can make pretty much whatever you feel like. I mean, even get creative and come up with your own sauce if you want. You know, that's the beauty of something like mayonnaise, and it's the beauty of knowing how to make it from scratch because it's just going to taste 10 times better with your own mayonnaise. I'm telling you. And also you have that peace of mind knowing it's you know, more healthy. So there you go. Right, let's have a quick look at the rest of these ingredients. So we've got juice of half a lemon, or cider vinegar, or you can use half and half. That's what I'm going to do today. 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, black pepper to taste, 1 egg yolk, and 1 cup of olive oil, which is about 250 ml, give or take. So it's actually very straightforward and easy. The problem with the classic mayonnaise is it just requires a little bit of the old elbow grease. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. What mayonnaise is it's an emulsion. Now, what is an emulsion? An emulsion or emulsification is the process by which an oil and water-based ingredients are combined into one uniform blend. Because normally when you mix oil and water, or vinegar or an acid like that, they don't stay together. They don't mix up. They'll separate. By adding an egg yolk here and mustard, what this does is the lecithin, I think it's called, in the egg yolk, is a chemical process that binds these two things together. So you'll end up with little microscopic bits of oil surrounded by the emulsion of the egg yolk and mustard. And so the way you do that is just by, you've got to mix up the egg yolk with the mustard, and a tablespoon of cider vinegar and a tablespoon of lemon juice without the pip in it. Come on. That goes in there. I said black pepper, didn't I? Now that's up to you as to how peppery you like it. I guess the purists would probably say it should be white pepper so you don't see the specks. But hey ho. Right, so you give that a good mix like that. And then slowly what we're going to do, the oil needs to be in some kind of jug or pouring device. And as you whisk, you've got to slowly add the oil. Just super, super slowly. If I were to dump it all in there in one go, it wouldn't mix. It would stay separated. And even if I try and whisk and whisk and whisk, I wouldn't have the power with the whisk to mix it. So every now and then you want to stop and just keep whisking. And you see here, you can see a little bit of the oil is still separated. So you just keep mixing until that becomes a smooth and homogeneous blend of those ingredients. And then start pouring again slowly. It can be handy to have somebody else pouring the oil as you do the mixing. And in fact, you could use one of those whiskers, like an electric whisk, or KitchenAid type situation you could use as well. Oh, my arm's getting sore already. Okay, we're halfway through here. Do you see how that has already, it's going a paler colour and it's become much more creamy. There's no shame in just taking a little bit of a break every now and then. Okay, we're almost there. Right, there we go. Now, the more oil you put in, the thicker it will become. However, you'll reach a point where it can't take the oil anymore and then it will split. And you don't want to get to that point because then you have to start again from the whisking. So if you do, it's not the end of the world. You don't need to throw it away. All you have to do is put another yolk in another bowl and then slowly add the mayonnaise into it. Or I think there is even a trick. There might even just be a trick of adding a bit of water. I'm not going to do that today. Go look up. If you ever run into that problem, I'm sure you'll find a solution. Or just ask ChatGPT or something like that. Anyway, that's the classic mayonnaise. All right, now for the easy speedy one, the ingredients are exactly the same, albeit I don't have to separate the egg. So a whole egg, you need a mason jar or some kind of vessel that will be vertical like that. Now, what I'm using here is an immersion blender. You could do it in an actual blender, one of those like juicer things. It's the same thing. So all the ingredients are going to go in. So we've got the egg, we've got a tablespoon of vinegar, we've got a tablespoon of lemon juice, and as I said before, you could just use 2 tablespoons both. We've got a quarter of a teaspoon of sea salt, and then the blender. I'm actually going to put the whole thing of oil right on top. And then it's just a question of blending it. But you keep the blender at the bottom, slowly moving around. Because the oil goes to the top naturally, first you start blending the bottom, and then slowly, once you get to that creamy stage, you can slowly start bringing it up. And there we go. That is it. That's as easy as that. What's happening is that this is going so quickly, it's actually doing all that job of whisking for you. And I find it actually goes even thicker than you would do if you're whisking it. See how thick that is there? Just like a thick cream. Right. And that's it. So easy. And it's already in a jar. It can go straight into the fridge. I'm going to put this to one side because I said we're going to do the ranch. So let's look at those ingredients that I'm going to need for the ranch. We're going to need, obviously, a cup of the mayonnaise we've just made, a cup of sour cream, a cup of buttermilk or kefir. Then I've got 1 tablespoon of fresh parsley, 1 tablespoon of fresh chives, 1 tablespoon of dill, 1 clove of garlic, which we're going to mince, juice of half a lemon, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper. So guys, you could literally put these things into here, give it a mix. I'm a little nervous that it might not quite fit. So I've got this other bowl here and I'm going to mix it in there. So we've got the lemon. Going to mince this garlic. These microplanes are brilliant. The only thing is they are really quite sharp. So you got to watch your fingers when you're using them. You could just use one of those garlic presses. I find the good thing about this is it gets it really nice and fine. Of course, using the immersion blender, if you know that you already want garlic in your mayonnaise, what I would normally do is I would put the garlic, chop it up a little bit, put it in the beginning with the other ingredients. In fact, most of the time when I make mayonnaise, I put the garlic in at the beginning anyway, because I like garlic in my mayonnaise. So we've got half the lemon. And again, the lemon, it's up to you. If you like it more lemony, put more lemon in. Salt and pepper. I'm going to put the mayonnaise in first. So it's basically equal parts. I mean, this probably is just over a cup because it's got the other ingredients in there as well. Oop, we got a splatter. Okay, in go the herbs, the cream. This is going to be so good. And the buttermilk. Or kefir. I mean, you know, kefir and buttermilk, technically speaking, they're 2 slightly different products, but they're so similar in cooking, I find I can interchange them quite easily. Look at that. That looks so good. I'm going to taste it. Oh. Oh, yes. Man, just nothing like what you would buy in a shop, I'm telling you. Obviously, it's a familiar flavor, but this is just next level. Next level. Right, I'm going to put this back in here and keep it in the fridge. because this will keep probably for a week, maybe more. I mean, obviously there's a lot there. Is it gonna fit? It is. Okay, let's clear up this mess and onto this so-called healthy version of mayonnaise. We'll see how it goes. Healthy, it's gonna be low fat. Let me show you. Let me show you these ingredients. And we'll just see how it turns out. So the main ingredient for this is 4 hard-boiled eggs. We're gonna put a teaspoon of mustard, a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, and then it's just salt and pepper to taste. That's it. We'll see. I'm skeptical. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not sure this is gonna match the other mayonnaises in flavor. We can't call it no fat, despite there being no oil, because eggs have, the yolk is actually quite high in fat, but it's really good fat. It's nothing wrong with that. And actually, you know what? I personally believe there's nothing wrong with certain fats. Certain oils are actually really good for you, like olive oil, like butter, avocado oil. That's a really good one to make mayonnaise with. So we'll have to see what it tastes like. But I personally don't know this is one I would go for. We'll just have to find out. Let's get these eggs boiled, shall we? They need to be hard-boiled eggs, so that's 10 minutes. I find the easiest way to peel the shell off of eggs, or shelling eggs, is plunging them into ice water like that, or very cold water. What happens is you kind of shock the egg. There's a little membrane that's around the egg, and when you pop it into the cold water, the egg retracts and comes away from the membrane, and it just makes it much easier to get the shell off. Right, so the theory is you just put everything in here and go to town with the blender. We'll see. We'll see. I promise you, I've never done this before. We've got the teaspoon of mustard. We've got half a teaspoon of salt. We've got a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, good bit of pepper, and then blend. All right. Okay. Just looking like scrambled eggs so far. Okay, this is just super thick and it's all gone up the side here. I don't know, a little taste. Kind of like mayonnaise. I feel like it needs something to loosen it up. I'm going to put a little bit of hot water. Oh boy. Because I can't put oil, that would kind of defeat the point of doing this, wouldn't it? All right, okay. That's enough. That's enough. Let's have a look. Okay, well, it does go smooth. I think adding that water has probably helped. Let's see, let's have a taste test. Okay, I mean, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, you know, like the egg mimosas, where it's already, you get the yolk and you mix it with the mayonnaise, and you put it in there. That's kind of what it tastes like. It doesn't taste like egg white. The yellow is there. I mean, it's very eggy. As mayonnaise goes, it's very eggy. Okay, I tell you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to see if we can improve this because it's just a bit lacking in flavor. And then once I've done that, I'm going to compare it with the one I made earlier on, and we'll really be able to say. So I'm going to double up the mustard. I'm going to double up the cider vinegar, and it needs a bit more salt. Loosening as well. All right. Okay, that looks a bit better. All right, moment of truth. We have, well, do you know which is which? I'll put you out of misery. This one is the one I just made, no fat. This is the first one I made, not the one in the jar. So it's a bit runnier, you can see, but I think if I'd made it, it would be thicker than this one. You see what I'm saying? All right, okay. First I'm gonna taste this one. Okay. I mean, the mayonnaise taste is there. I'm surprised. I am surprised. Oh. That's completely different. I mean, okay, it's not completely different. It's really quite different. Now, I think a couple reasons for that. This is just much smoother texture. Here, even though I blended the heck out of it, it's slightly, ever so slightly grainy. Maybe if you didn't boil the eggs to hard boil and did them to like soft boil or something, maybe it would be a creamier. Also, this has got quite a strong olive oil flavor because I made it with olive oil. But really, it's not a huge amount between them. I'm genuinely surprised. Genuinely surprised. There we are. Anyway, let me know, guys, what you end up doing with your mayonnaise. Will this be as good a mother sauce as this? Probably not, I would think. But then again, maybe mixing it with other things, it would disguise that egginess. It probably would work for a good ranch, you know? It might work. Might work. Try it out, guys. Let me know in the comments what you end up doing. I think also there's an egg-free version of mayonnaise that you can make with milk. I suppose, you know, if you really don't like eggs, that's what you could do. I thought this was quite enough for one video anyway. So I hope you found it helpful. Hit the subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep cooking, guys. What about celery? Let's try some celery. Just not a big fan of celery. Oh well. This is still the winner in my book.